game of the weekend on this Toronto Leaside Wildcats Reading Rockets game as we welcome you to October 23rd through the 26th. Can-Am hockey, the girls are in town. As we cross past the 6 o'clock hour, 6:02 p.m. local Lake Placid time, you're watching Olympic Center TV's live broadcast of Can-Am hockey as we are underway. Folks, my name's Glenn Burnett with the play-by-play and color commentary. So good to be here. So glad you'd have me here as we get a quick icing right off the bat. Let's go ahead and get you introduced to the teams out on the ice. We'll go ahead and start off with the team in white. Those are the Leaside Toronto Wildcats. They are Edwards, Spencer, Greaves, Candy, Zimmerman, Davey, Catkick, Foster, Murray, Helfand, Sorbera, Rose, Campbell, Somerville, Ball, Sex, and Wang. And number 33 in the net, that's Aria Ball. She will be tending the net for the Wildcats as we are in early game action. A heads up for the folks out there. These will be 12-minute periods, 3 12-minute periods in regulation. No overtimes, no timeouts in the round robin games. But when we get into the medal games on Sunday, each team will have a timeout and we will go to overtime if necessary, but not in round robin games. As we continue into the lee side zone, let's go ahead and introduce you to the attacking Reading Rockets. They are Smith, Jenkins, Doherty, Golden, Lanzo, Buda, Flaherty, Lebrec, King, Briere, Curtin, Seratani, Cahill, and McColgan. As this is tossed out to the right wing side, trying to get a shot off the stick. For those of you who are tuned in, we do have a chat board. Tell me where you're watching from, which team, which players, and we'll get you a shout out during the course of gameplay. As this drifts into the Rocket zone, here's a shot attempt. And that's blockered down. Gonna look down at the Reading net. That's number 37 in net, Seratani. And that'll be whistled dead. So we get a neutral zone face-off on the far side dot, just outside the Rocket zone. As this drifts into the lee side zone, big opportunity for the Rockets now, as this is King working up, and now across neutral ice into the attacking zone, and lee side applying pressure, as we saw Candy getting in on the left wing side, laid out on the far side in the corner. It's played up to the half wall, and here's an opportunity chased down by Murray as she forces it back up ice, and this will be swatted back down to the end wall as Sorbera comes in to collect it, plays it up to the near side half wall, and this is sent down in the low slot. Out on the ice for the Rockets, we see Jenkins on the far side half wall, with Smith posted up at the top of the slot. A lot of transitional play here. This is the Calgary 12U division. Which you'll notice with some of the smaller players, it'll take a little bit longer for the feet to get steady on this slick surface. There's one thing I have learned over the course of calling many youth hockey tournaments is that the smaller bodies take longer to scrape up the ice, and until the ice is well scraped, The foot security is not yet established, but as they scrape it up, it'll become a little bit easier. We'll see better skating out there. We'll see better balance. We'll see more confidence. And so this goes down for icing. We'll have a face-off in the Rocket zone to Seratani's left side. Just inside of 8 minutes remaining, first period action. Glenn Burnett with your play-by-play and color commentary. So good to be here. So glad you'd have me here. Another Can-Am hockey weekend. As this time, we've got so many teams in town. Quite an enjoyable spectacle was the opening ceremonies as all of the teams marched out onto the ice. As this is played in on net. And swept away easily by Ball. Played out to the end wall, and we see Catkick collecting it at the half wall. Catkick, one of the rangier players on the Wildcats. By rangy, we mean often we mean taller, but it means that they can get across the ice pretty easily as they have long strides. And as we see Catkick pressuring into neutral ice. Here's an opportunity shaping up on the left wing side. Good turnout from the families here traveling with their daughters. And there are some sons out there too. This may be a girls' weekend, but some of the siblings are traveling to be a part of this weekend. They may not be lacing up, but they will be bopping around town, enjoying all that this Olympic Village has to offer. As this is played out from the right wing side. And we're midway through one as this is poked to neutral ice. This Calgary 12U division is comprised of 6 teams. All Massachusetts except for Toronto Leaside. The Wildcats, the lone Canadian representative in this division. Here's a redirect on the right wing side. That goes wide of the frame as Seratani gets down low. Played around to the near side. Let's go ahead and run through those teams in this division. They include the Bay State Breakers out of Kingston, Massachusetts, the Belmont Marauders out of Belmont, Massachusetts, Cape Cod Storm out of Falmouth, Northeast Generals out of Bridgewater, and the Reading Rockets out of Reading, Massachusetts. All Massachusetts except for the one Canadian team. That helps make this a true Can-Am hockey division. This is battle for King on the Rockets out on the ice right now, along with Doherty. This is played into the slot. Turnaround shot attempt taken away. As we saw Candy setting up in the left wing area. Played back out to neutral ice, and that'll be offsides. So let's go ahead and take a look and see if we've got anybody tuned in to the chat board. Once again, if you are, tell me where you're watching from, which team, which players. We'll get you a shout out during the course of gameplay. Last weekend, we had the U16 and U18 boys in town. A different type of game played by the older teams. This is played up on the left wing side as the Rockets looking to push to the blue line. Played out on the far side corner. 4:15 remaining, first period action. In this, the first game on the Miracle sheet for this weekend. And now worked up on the left wing side. This is King as that's jarred away. And the Rockets one more time trying to get access to the offensive zone. We take a look at shots on goal, and it's been a defensively minded game thus far, as a lot of transitional play between the blue stripes as this is played to the backhand, and that is your icebreaker, folks. Delivered right on the dot by Catkick. Drawing commitment out of Saratani, getting access to the backside of the net, goes to the backhand and drops one in, and that is your icebreaker. And so just about 3.5 to go. And I think the chat board just disappeared on me. So if you had something up there, please go ahead and toss that back up for me, and we'll get that shout out for you. All apologies. All right, so we see Shelley in there. Go Greaves. As this is played up to the half wall, up top to the right point. Shot deflected down low. Alrighty, so we have Shelley on, Go Greaves. Let's see those other shout outs that were up previously. I know there was something about a plane up there. And that'll make it all the way down for icing. With 2:18 remaining first period action. Toronto Leaside Wildcats up 1-0. Now this is the Calgary 12U division. And the way the round robin tournaments work, at the end of 3 games of round robin play, the top 2 teams in the division will play for gold on Gold Medal Sunday. And now the Rockets with a rush, as this is pressed up on the right side by Doherty, with some assistance coming from Flaherty. Played back the opposite way as Candy comes up on the left side, trying for the tuck, and that one signaled a goal, and Candy adds to the Wildcats' lead as Toronto goes up 2-0. How exciting is that? Happy birthday, Riley, number 3 Leaside. All righty. Happy birthday, Riley. I had another one out there who mentioned Candy and a plane, but I didn't get to see the chat board because I had just looked over to see a goal being scored. And that chat message, when my board refreshed, disappeared. Played out from the right wing side as Leaside pressuring once again. And for those of you looking to keep track of stats and standings, head on over to canamhockey.com. Click on the scores link and then navigate to the games in question. You'll be able to see the game sheets there with all the official scoring as we're down to the final minute in this first period. We got plenty on tap this weekend. I am posted up at the Miracle Sheet now through the gold medal games on Sunday. It won't be on every game. That would be well too heavy a schedule. However, And we'll be here for Gold Medal Sunday, so if your team makes it all the way through the gauntlet, comes back up here on Sunday, I will be here. Off of the face-off, played down to the near side corner as we've got 25 seconds remaining in this first period. What with as many players traveling this weekend, and families, there have got to be a few birthdays occurring this week. Go ahead and post up your shout out, and we'll get a shout out for those birthdays. As the buzzer sounds, closing out one period of play. Toronto Leaside getting the icebreaker and an extra, leading 2-0. We'll take a quick break, step outside, check the barometric pressure. When we return, baking tips with Martha. From alongside the 1980 rink, the Miracle Sheet in Lake Placid, New York, you're watching Can-Am Hockey, the Girls Weekend on Olympic Center TV. We'll be right back. All righty, welcome back, folks, as we open up second period play. In a tribute to retired NHL commentator Doc Emmerich, we say, well, there's a goal. And that's not exactly what he says to open up the second period, but look at that, just 21 seconds into the second period, and Leaside notches their third goal of the evening. So actually, what retired NHL commentator Doc Emmerich says is welcome to the second period, the period of the long change. As the goaltenders trade nets, putting them in the defensive zones they guard on the opposite end of the ice from their benches. This makes defensive on-the-fly substitutions difficult. The key takeaway in this period is get into the offensive zone early and often. Apply. And so Candy from Sachs is the combination on that last one. And so in this long change period, you want to get into the offensive zone early and often, apply pressure to the opposing defense, see if you can fatigue them, find them flat-footed, out of position, perhaps pulling penalties. But most of all, you want to get shots on net and pucks in the bucket. As we get a whistle. Speaking of shots on net, the Wildcats with 5, the Rockets with 1. Still getting warmed up. But in that crucial category, the scoring, the biscuits in the baskets, Wildcats leading 3-0. As we say hi to Jing Jing. Candy's mom on a flight right now, watching the game, just caught the goal. Well, guess what? Candy's got another one. Off of the neutral zone face-off, the Rockets working up on the right side. This here is Curtin. Gets it across to the left wall. And now carried up by Foster. Foster forced left. Turns the puck to her teammate. And this is played to the near side half wall. Pinching down is Rose as she forces it low in the zone. And this will be carried out, wheeled around the net, out towards the far side. Now again, we mentioned that you can find the stat sheet Never mind that. We've got a breakaway here. Here's a shot off the rebound to the backhand. And Ball gets big props here, making the first save and then on the rebound. As this is played to Ball's left side. Played wide of the net and sent out to the far side half wall. Pinching down and forcing it lower in the zone is Lebrecq. And that'll go down for icing. Off of the face-off, sent out to neutral ice. Lee side gets the breakout, but the Rockets continue to apply pressure, driving back into the offensive zone. Doherty in for the face-off for the Rockets. As we see Cat kick back out on the ice for the Wildcats. This is hung up on the sidewall, just alongside our scorekeeper. Shout out to Willis, managing the scoreboard, the time clock, and the public address announcements. We have had no penalties yet. If there were, he'd call them out as well, as this is played from the far side half wall. Rockets have tilted the ice a little bit here, getting more opportunities in the offensive zone as Doherty works through traffic. Pressured by Sorbera. Played out behind the net. That's poked down to the end wall. Worked back around to the near side. I told you that the skating would improve as the game progresses. Now that the ice sheet is not as slick, it's carved up more. Here's Cat kick on the right wing side as that's forced away. We see Lanzo providing defensive support. Here's a shot down through the low slot. Nothing doing there as Saratani watches it slide past. Played to the near side corner. This is something that I learned over the course of so many games, as this is held on to by Saratani, that the smaller bodies, they don't cut into the ice as well, so the legs slip out from under them in the early portions of the games. But over time, the ice gets scraped up. And of course, the bigger kids can carve into the ice pretty quickly. And so they look like they're better skaters. But that might be a combination of two things. The center stripe, and here's an opportunity thrown across by Sachs, and a shot as we hear the collective woe here in the arena. 7 minutes remaining, second period action. Toronto in the white sweaters as the Wildcats holding a 3-0 lead as we get to the midpoint of this period. We saw a change in net as some teams like to work a 2-goaltender system. And it isn't unusual that a goaltender will come in right at the middle of the second period. And so each of the two goaltenders getting half of a game to work on their craft. Right now coming in for the Rockets is Briere, number 35. Down at the other end, ball still in net. Here's a play down through the mid slot as that one squirts to the near side corner. Shots on goal right now. Toronto Lee side with 7. The Reading Rockets with 3. A pretty common matchup here in the Olympic Center. Massachusetts and Ontario. Here's a play from the right side. Shot, and that one's a hot one. Held on to as that was sent off a Greaves stick. A birthday wrister. We'll drop in on the chat board in a moment to check in on everybody. Just remember, you can head over to the chat board and tell me where you're watching from, which team, which players, and we'll get you a shout out during the course of gameplay. These games will be available on demand as well as this is played out across neutral ice. Played around to the near side. Rockets looking for the exit as Rose sends that across the slot. That'll keep it in the zone. You see Foster on the left wing side. Catches the pass. Shot wide of the net as this comes around to the near side half wall. Foster pressuring once again. And this will be gathered up by Briere. And she'll gain the whistle. A whole lot of activity on tap for us today. After this one, we've got the 7-10 Middlesex Islanders and the Bay State Breakers. As this is played in the crease, still no whistle, as several players poking away, trying to drive the puck in opposite directions. As we see Somerville chatting with Sorbera, looking for some strategy here, trying to gain an advantage, and Somerville a little quick on the draw. Played off the faceoff, up towards the point. Now out to neutral ice. Played by Greaves as she tosses it deep in the offensive zone. That'll slide out to the far side corner. Chased down by Curtin. Played to the near side, and that'll make it out to neutral ice. Played by Zimmerman. Zimmerman from the left wing side. Under pressure from Buda. Played out to the far side. That's Flaherty in the corner. Flaherty battling with Candy. Played up to the point. Here's a long wrister. Deflected down low. Stopped. Briere comes up with a stop. Played down low as that's swatted away. Credit Buda for the defensive play. Buda skating in the pink helmet. Held on to by Murray as Murray holds the line. This is Golden sending it around the corner. Played down low. And here's an opportunity for the Rockets as they have numbers. As we see Lebrecq looking for the wraparound, and that'll be held on to as Ball comes up with another save. 2:05 remaining second period action. Toronto East Side leading 3-0. As this is played to Ball's left side. Both goaltenders going glove left. Deflected out to neutral ice. As we see Lanzo able to collect it and get it into the offensive zone. Now just trying to turn it into an offensive possession as we see King out there. The Wildcats with a breakout. Sent back in by Lanzo. Chasing in is King as Lanzo working the pressure on the puck. Played out to neutral ice. Good skating as we noted earlier. Not sure if I can overemphasize it, but the skating gets better as the game progresses. That's just the nature of the ice. Being cut up makes it a whole lot easier to turn and accelerate. And one might look at players like Foster or Catkick for Lee side, bigger players on the team, and might assume either they're older or they're just better at skating. Well, perhaps, but it is that gravitational force and the mass that they carry that drives the skates into the ice. I seldom hear anybody talk about this wonder of physics. But those players have a little bit more advantage for the time being. The agility of the smaller players is usually witnessed a little bit further along in the game, and they are, in general, all other things equal, more agile because they have less mass to turn and redirect. Played into the corner. And that'll do it for second period action. As the Rockets able to hold their ground a little bit on the defensive side, still looking to get something on the scoreboard, but playing good defense. All players skating a lot better than the first period. As we take a quick break, Wildcats up 3-0. We'll step outside, rotate the tires. When we return, we'll tell you why you don't store the topiaries in the linen closet. From alongside the Miracle Sheet, the 1980 rink in Lake Placid, New York, you're watching Can-Am Hockey, Toronto Leaside Wildcats and the Reading Rockets on Olympic Center TV. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, folks. As we open up third period action, the goaltenders back to their original nets. Just a reminder, ball still in the net for the Wildcats. And on the opposite end, the change in net midway through the second, Briere for the Rockets. That shot is driven wide. That's Candy out on the ice, number 8 for Toronto Leaside. Once again, folks, my name's Glenn Burnett with the play-by-play and color commentary. There's an opportunity to try to avoid the icing here as they get in on the attack. No icing. as Wang carries it up on the right side. Working through the middle with a shot deflected wide. Played out of the corner. And sent back up. This is Wang at the blue line. Deflected away. And now rushing up is Doherty and Jenkins. We have had no penalties. And now here's an opportunity as Candy works in from the slot. Paddle save. Well played by Briere. Here's a turnaround off of the rebound. Candy sending it around as that slips all the way up to the top of the circle right side. Shot down and held on to by Briere. As we hear some shouts from the bench, go Riley. For those of you interested, the only Riley, oh, looky here, Riley Briere. So there are two Rileys out there. Riley for the Wildcats. That's Greaves. Here's a shot. That one caught up in the chest area and then fumbled out. A little bit of help coming along on the defensive side. And now rushing up on the right side. That's Curtin down by the end wall. Kicked up to the half wall. And Campbell. And that goes down for icing. Played from below the goal line. And back out to the corner. As Toronto looking to break out. And they do. As Foster able to drive it up ahead. Here's a 2-on-1 shaping up. Played out of the corner, centering pass to the backhand. Briere with a save. We saw a cat kick coming in just as that came into the low slot area. Shots on goal 14-4 favoring the Wildcats. And so combined for the Rockets goaltending, 11 saves. Played to the near side as Davey sends it up ahead from neutral ice. We see Lebrecq in the corner. She works it out to the far side corner. Chased down by Greaves. Played off the paddle of Briere. Down to the near side half wall. Under pressure, cat kick. Off the face-off. As we see Rose out on the ice for the Wildcats. Sachs out on the right wing side. Here's a shot. Briere comes up with a stop. This one is slid all the way up ice. No icing as that was perfectly on net. Ball sends it to the corner. This is Wang working up on the right wing side. Dropping back into defense is Buddha. She drops straight down to the slot area. You know that that's the danger zone. And if only one person can get back, that's the place you want to go back to. And here's Wang out of her own zone. Played up ahead on the left side to Candy. And then fired back down into the Wildcat zone. 7:27 remaining third period action. And a holding possession in the offensive zone. That's Doherty. Played away by King as King sends it out to the far side corner. That'll rattle around up towards the point as we see Sachs force it out to neutral ice. Sachs battling right now. Still working away at the puck as King loses an edge and falls down to the ice. This is worked up on the left side. Candy with the shot. Beautiful save by Briere. As Briere paddles it away. Laid up high. Here's a long range wrister. That'll go wide as Murray gets that one off the stick. All right, final shout outs for those of you who are tuned in. Go ahead and hit up the chat board. Tell me where you're watching from, which team, which players. And we'll give you a shout out to acknowledge your support. We hope you're enjoying the broadcast. As this is played to the near side corner. From the half wall, Murray pinching down as she throws it down low. Sachs retrieving in the corner. Played from the half wall. And Candy goes into the corner. And heavy pressure. As we saw Buddha apply pressure in the corner. Now there's no body checking in this age class. But that does not mean there isn't a little bit of shoving. And sometimes two players simultaneously skating hard to the corner may crash into each other. That'll be incidental. So it is a physical game out here as Murray tosses it down low. Stopped by Golden. Played in on net. And that's sent out by Buddha. Rockets with a breakout, and that'll be offsides. As the Wildcats were making changes behind the play. That puck came out to neutral ice and then forced back in. They had not yet tagged up. And so 5:10 remaining third period action. Wildcats in white leading 3-0. The Rockets continuing to increase the pressure in on the attacking zone. Setting up the ball's right side. Played into the middle. And driving hard towards the blue line was Lebrecq. Check that. Campbell. And here's Campbell racing up. Campbell trying to possess. As this is played out towards the far side. That's Cahill in the corner. Played to the mid slot. Shot deflected wide as Briere supplying some good goaltending. Played behind the net. This is Foster. Foster with a pass into the slot and a quick 1-2-3 to the back of the net as Foster sends it to the mid slot, met by Helfand. She gets it off the stick quickly, and the Wildcats pick up another goal. We hear some cheers for the Rockets out there, trying to rally the team.
Wildcats goal was scored by number 22, Skylar Helfand. Assist number 14, Haley Foster. Time of the goal, 7:36, third period.
So Helfand from Foster. That's what you'll see on the game sheet. A little while after the game is completed, the sheet will go from the scorekeeper's desk up to Tournament Central and then entered into the database. You'll be able to go to canamhockey.com, click on the scores link. It'll take you to the current tournament. And you can navigate to the specific game and open up that digital score sheet, and it'll show everything that's logged in down at the scorer's desk. Played around to the backhand. Scrambling out in front, and Briere getting some help from the defense. This Rockets team has remained energized in spite of all the pressure in their defensive zone, and this is saucered out to neutral ice. Flaherty out on the ice trying to gain possession at the half wall, and she does. She drives Wang back into neutral ice, working up along the side wall. That's picked up by Doherty. Driven deeply in the offensive zone. We've had a lot of renovations in the past handful of years here. Call it few years, maybe 3-4 years. Back around pandemic time when they shut things down, they had a project already set to be worked on, and that was to prepare for the World University Games. And here's an opportunity racing up. This is King. King with the shot, paddled down, still loose out in front. And Candy able to come away with it. But the pressure coming up, and you can hear the crowd getting loud here as Buddha sends it down low. With 1:33 remaining in regulation. This is played up top. Buddha throws it down low, and that'll slide past his ball. Sees it coming back from the end wall and looking for the wraparound as this Rockets team getting more feisty in the attacking zone. They found themselves with a great opportunity. And now with some speed, trying to work it out of the defensive zone. As this is played out towards the far side, Buddha coming up with it. Sent back down. And this will be thrown around to the near side with 33 seconds remaining in regulation. Played down to the end wall. Centering pass off the back of the cage, played around the corner to the near side. And Lee side trying to break out once again. And done a good job of transitioning out of the defensive zone. And this will slip out to neutral ice. A quick tag up for the Rockets, as deep as they are in this game, still moving with energy. And the buzzer sounds, so that closes out regulation as Toronto Leaside Wildcats, our first victors this Thursday evening. They'll pick up 2 points in the divisional standings. And for the moment, they'll sit atop the Calgary 12U division. As both teams will gather at the center stripe to exchange goodwill on the handshake line. Led by the goaltenders, as we say, good game, good game. Safe travels, good meals, and good luck. What a great day to be a hockey player. What a great day to play hockey. So that puts one in the books for us here alongside the 1980 rink. Coming up, as both teams will gather at the center stripe to exchange goodwill on the handshake line. Led by the goaltenders, as we say, good game, good game. Safe travels, good meals, and good luck. What a great day to be a hockey player. What a great day to play hockey. So that puts one in the books for us here alongside the 1980 rink. Coming up next, From alongside the 1980 rink, the Miracle Sheet in Lake Placid, New York, Glenn Burnett with your play-by-play and color commentary. You'll find me on the 19th most popular social media site. That's LinkedIn.